Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you for finding us. If you could subscribe, if you are not subscribed, it would be hugely appreciated. Only if you like what we're talking about. If you like boutique Blu-ray labels and martial arts films and Hong Kong cinema and art house cinema from around the world and all that other fun stuff, please do subscribe and drop a comment. I love the comments. I know I say it every time, but let me know in the comments what you think about these releases, what you're most excited about for 2024 in terms of what's coming out, what you hope will come out. What are your holy grail releases that you absolutely hope upon hope will be coming out in 2024? You will be excommunicated if you say if you say the John Woo movies. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a long time running joke in our Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, we have a new Facebook group because Facebook vanished our group. It just disappeared overnight. I have no idea what happened. I didn't get any notifications. I didn't get any emails. It was just gone. So I started a new one. The link is in the description. Go join. Go over there. It's just it's a long running joke that people are always saying when the John Woo movie is going to come out, which is understandable because they're like some of the greatest freaking movies ever made. But no, you won't be excommunicated. Let me know if you want The Killer and Hard Boiled and A Better Tomorrow to come out on limited edition Blu-ray from whatever your favorite boutique label is. So what are we here to talk about today? It's Eureka Entertainment. You know I love Eureka Entertainment, and I know you love Eureka Entertainment. When Taekwondo Strikes is probably my favorite release of 2024 so far, although admittedly I think I've only watched 3 or 4 releases from 2024 so far. I loved that movie, and that's a really good release. So I have not done a Eureka announcements video in a long time, and Eureka has announced a buttload of really cool and exciting stuff. So I'm going to do like a roundup overview of Eureka from February until April of 2024. Just tell you some of the stuff that's coming out that caught my eye. Much of it will be relevant to this channel, and this stuff is not relevant to this channel. I still think it's really interesting, and you might dig. So on the 19th of February, 2024, directed by Lo Wei, starring Chuck Norris, 1974 Hong Kong film, Slaughter in San Francisco. I've never seen this movie. San Francisco police officers Don Wong, played by Wong Tao, and John Summer, played by Robert Jones, save a young woman, played by Sylvia Chang, from being assaulted by a gang of criminals. Okay, I don't know that much about this movie. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, all the crime in San Francisco is run by Chuck Slaughter. No! Who's Chuck Norris? Stop it. Chuck Norris plays the kingpin of all San Francisco crime, and his name is Chuck Slaughter. I'm going to be Chuck Slaughter for Halloween this year. I'm sorry. I know I should read this stuff before I get on on air and talk about it because I'm wasting time. I'm wasting your valuable time laughing about Chuck Slaughter. Woo, daddy. Wong is kicked off the force by his corrupt captain, and Summer is murdered by Slaughter's men. Using his powerful kung fu skills, Wong vows to clean up the streets and take down Slaughter once and for all. A gloriously trashy slice of gritty kung fu action. Slaughter in San Francisco. Get it? Slaughter in San Francisco because Chuck Slaughter. Was producer Raymond Chow's attempt to capitalize on Hong Kong cinema's sudden explosion of popularity in the West. Right, so 1974 was right after Bruce Lee passed away and Enter the Dragon and all that stuff. Eureka Classics is proud to present Slaughter in San Francisco for the first time ever on Blu-ray from a new 2K restoration. So limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork from Sam Gilby, 1080p HD presentation on Blu-ray of both the original Hong Kong theatrical and US export versions. Original Mandarin. Oh my God. Chuck Norris talking in fucking Mandarin? Stop it. Oh, Chuck Slaughter. Chuck Slaughter in Mandarin. Yes. Classic English dubbed mono audio. Optional English subtitles newly translated for this release. Brand new feature-length audio content. Oh, hell yeah. Frank Chang and Michael Worth. Yes, that'll be really fun. I really like the two of them together. It's a really winning combo. And then, of course, everyone's favorite comedic a Hong Kong insider duo. Mike and Arna also have a commentary. Oh, that's on the U.S. version, and Frank and Michael Worth will be doing the Hong Kong version. Excellent. And a new featurette by martial arts artist and actor Michael Worth. Oh, cool. Damn, this sounds awesome. Hell yeah, I'm going to review the shit out of this. Okay, Chuck Slaughter. What I want is Chuck Norris. I want someone to transcribe this movie in Mandarin. Write it phonetically in the Roman alphabet, and then have Chuck Norris as Chuck Slaughter do a live reading of his lines phonetically in Mandarin. I want to hear it. That would be amazing. Okay, so that's coming out on February 19th of 2024. Now, this next release has legitimately, I think, maybe the greatest bonus feature ever. I'm speaking slightly hyperbolically, but maybe not. This is coming out the 18th of March, 2024, which is March is my birthday month, so this will be a fun birthday thing for me. The Swordsman of All Swordsmen is a limited edition Blu-ray set. It's a Joseph Coe film, who did the Joseph Coe box set that Eureka released, what was that, like a year and a half ago, which was freaking awesome. A Tale of Honor and Revenge by celebrated master of wuxia cinema Joseph Coe. Having witnessed the brutal slaying of his entire family as a small child, Tsai Ying-ji, who's played by Tian Peng from Touch of Zen, spends several years wandering in search of those responsible. After years in training, he intends to use his expert swordsmanship to exact violent revenge on Yun Chun Chung and his 4 accomplices who murdered his father in order to obtain a legendary weapon known as the Spirit-Chasing Sword. But after dispatching several rival swordsmen that stand in the way of his righteous vengeance, Sai comes to contemplate the futile nature of it. Oh, wow. That sounds really interesting, like thematically. Followed by The Bravest Revenge and the Ghost Hill, The Swordsman of All Swordsmen is the first entry in Joseph Coe's Tsai Ying-ji trilogy. I wonder if we'll get the other ones too then from Eureka. And a landmark work in the wuxia genre. Eureka Classics is proud to present the film for the first time ever in the UK from a 2K restoration. Now, here's where this gets insane. Along with Coe's influential kung fu masterpiece, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, as a freaking bonus feature. This is what I'm saying. Maybe this is the greatest bonus feature ever. Like, people have been asking me. I'm not speaking hyperbolically at all here. I've been doing this channel and like our Instagram account and everything for, I think, 6 years at this point. 2018 was when I started. I cannot tell you the number of times people have asked me if I know when and if The Mystery of Chess Boxing is coming out on Blu-ray. And it is now coming out, confirmed, as a bonus feature, 18th of March, 2024. And you're probably thinking, why the hell is it a bonus feature? It explains it right here. Let me read this to you. Please note that due to the only surviving materials available being a release print, The Mystery of Chess Boxing is presented with burnt-in subtitles. To the best of our knowledge, these are the best surviving materials. So, what does that mean? That means that the only version of this film that they could find that is high enough quality to be able to scan and release onto a Blu-ray is from a print that was made to be shown in theaters. And so it's not the original negative. And so because of that, it has subtitles burned into the image. There are things that you can do to remove burned in subtitles, but they would essentially, you would inherently have to corrupt the visual information. As far as I understand, I'm not an expert on this, but from what I understand, in order to do that, you'd have to use some kind of AI tool that would go in and essentially read the background and then overwrite the subtitles, right? So then you're no longer looking at the original image, right? Which is why I would think that a company like Eureka, who is so invested in film preservation, would be hesitant to do something like that, right? But that's the reason why it's not being released on its own, is that the material is just not there to make it a strong enough release without people, I think, getting upset about it. Special features, limited edition 2-disc set, 2,000 copies, so get the hell on this now. Which has the bonus disc, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, and it has the limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork by Go Kaiju. It's really cool artwork. I like it a lot. A new limited edition collector's booklet featuring writing on both films by James Oliver. Limited edition set of lobby cards. So they're, like reproductions of the original lobby cards. Disc 1, The Swordsman of All Swordsmen, has a 1080p presentation from a 2K digital restoration by the Taiwan Film Institute. Original Mandarin, optional English subtitles, brand new feature-length audio commentary by Asian film expert Frank Jang and film writer John Charles, who wrote the Hong Kong filmography 1977 to 1997, and an archival interview with director Joseph Coe. Mystery of Chess Boxing, has the 1080p HD presentation on Blu-ray scanned from the only known surviving print of the film, which was supplied by collector Dan Halstead, who is the head programmer at the Hollywood Theater in Oregon. So if you don't know his story, Google Dan Halstead at whatever, Hollywood Theater, Oregon. It's insane. Like the stuff that he's unearthed and been able to find and stuff like that. Original Mandarin, Cantonese, and classic English dubbed audio options. Brand new feature-length audio commentary. Oh, wow. So Frank Jeng and Michael Worth, whoa, and Arna and Mike Leader are doing commentaries on Mystery Chess Boxing. That's really cool. All right, so there you go. So that's a must-have for any fan of old school martial arts films and wuxia films and stuff like that. That is coming out on the 18th of March. So now we get into April 22nd of 2024. The Black Mask. Oh, and by the way, I should say, now that we're 10 minutes into this video, Eureka is expanding, and they will now be distributing their stuff in Region A, so the US and Canada. And so The Black Mask is coming out in both the UK and the US and Canada from Eureka. So it is no longer only those who are in Region B or those who have multi-region players who can enjoy Eureka Entertainment releases. So this is hella exciting. And MVD will be distributing, MVD is a really awesome company. They distribute 88 in the US, I think. I think they distribute Arrow as well. And I think they, I'm sorry, my hair is just like, what is it doing? It's pretty humid outside today because it's raining. So I think the humidity is like futzing with my, anyway. To get back on track, they have the MVD Rewind collection, which is awesome. And they put out like the Nemesis films, which I love. And they did like Lionheart, the Van Damme film, Black Eagle. They did Showdown, like the high school Karate Kid. Like it's like the more violent exploitation-y Karate Kid type of movie. It takes place in high school. And like, anyway, to get back to Black Mask, this is a limited edition set. I mean, does this film really need an introduction? Jet Li stars in an action-packed superhero spectacle produced by legendary Choi Hawk. Choi Hawk is a librarian who leads a quiet, unassuming life. Or at least, that's what he wants people to believe. In truth, he was once a member of the 701 Squad, a group of elite combatants produced by a failed super soldier project. I said Choi Hawk, it's Choi Shik, who is played by Jet Li, is the librarian, who's actually the super, Let's get back on track. Jet Li plays the badass. That's all we need to know, right? In kind with his former comrades, his central nervous system has been altered to render him impervious to pain. When several of his fellow test subjects resurface and embark on a crime wave under the leadership of their former comrade Hung Kook, maybe, Choi is forced to use his extraordinary abilities once more. Donning a costume, he sets out to face his past as a vigilante known as Black Mask. So action choreography from Yuen Wu Ping, and what else needs to be said about this? It's a limited edition 2-disc set, 2,000 copies, limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork by Gokaiju's Gregory Sacre. I think I don't speak French, and I apologize if that's not correct. A limited edition collector's booklet featuring new writing by James Oliver. Limited edition bonus disc featuring two alternate versions. I thought there was only one alternate version of the film. I didn't know there were two. So there's the fully uncut Hong Kong version, 1080p 2K restoration. Original US version presented in 1080p from a 2K restoration. Original Cantonese stereo and optional DTS HD MA 5.1 on the Hong Kong version. Optional English subtitles newly translated, which Frank Jeng is doing and is doing very diligently and is working very, very hard on. I was talking to him about this the other day. Brand new audio commentary on the Hong Kong version of the film by Frank Jeng, hell yes. And on the U.S. export version, we get Mike Leader and Arna Venema. Brand new interview with stuntman Mike Lambert. Brand new interview with film critic Andrew Heskins of Eastern Kicks. Brand new interview with Leon Hunt, author of Kung Fu Cult Masters from Bruce Lee to Crouching Tiger. Reversible sleeve featuring original poster artwork. Archival making of featurette trailers. And disc 2 has the Taiwanese cut of the film. And then it has extended version of Black Mask featuring all of the unique footage from the various releases of the films reinserted. So this is like a master cut, basically. So I'm really, really excited for that. And I wonder if Brandon Bentley is pulling his hair out, putting that together. Now, what else are we getting? In April 29th of 2024, China OBrien 1 and 2. I should say that Vinegar Syndrome is also putting out China OBrien. And it's coming out in 4K and on a Blu-ray set. The inimitable martial arts superstar Cynthia Rothrock stars in two of the most gloriously entertaining films of her career, released in 1990. And China OBrien, city cop and formidable martial artist Lori China OBrien, who is played by Cynthia Rothrock, is forced to resign from the force and return home to a small Utah town after her involvement in an accidental death. But upon arrival in I'm going to say it without laughing, I swear. Beaver Creek. It's getting wet in It's getting wet in Beaver Creek. Okay, let's have a little aside here. I learned recently, I was having a serious conversation with a colleague, and they were like, did you know beavers have 2 sets of lips? I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. And I was like, really? And my colleague was like, yeah. Because they're mammals, right? So they can't breathe underwater. So when they go underwater to chew on the wood, they need to use 2 sets of lips. Because one of them closes behind their teeth to prevent the water from, right? So you can imagine me. Someone's telling me about beavers and how they need 2 sets of lips to handle wood when it's really wet. I can't take it. I can't take it. You can't, Beavertown. Wait, no, Beaver Creek. It's even better. Woo. It's getting wet in Beaver Creek. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop. Upon her arrival in Beaver Creek, she finds that her lawman father, Sheriff John OBrien, is desperately trying to bring down local crime boss Edwin Summers. And it isn't long before she steps into the fray. Then in China O'Brien 2, Laurie must once again protect her hometown. Things are crazy in Beaver Creek. So many bad people trying to get into Beaver Creek that you really need to protect it. It becomes a hideout for a dangerous fugitive, the escaped drug lord, Charlie Baskin. So, and directed by Robert Klaus. I didn't know that. Enter the Dragon and Game of Death. And what's the other movie that I just watched that he directed? He did he did a Bolo Young movie. What's the other famous movie that he did? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. Okay, you tell me in the comments. What was it? You tell me in the comments because my brain is totally blanking. But he did another really... Oh, he did Battle Creek Brawl, right? The Jackie Chan movie. Yeah, I knew I just watched something that he directed. Okay, so there's the 4K version, and I think there's a Blu-ray version as well. It has brand new feature-length audio commentaries on both films. It's going to have a brand new interview with Cynthia Rothrock and a limited edition collector's booklet. So here's what I want to talk about. Chuck Slaughter goes to Beaver Creek. Okay, we need that movie to happen. We need freaking Chuck Norris now, Cynthia Rothrock now. Chuck Slaughter has gone into hiding after the events of Slaughter in San Francisco, and he rocks up to Utah in Beaver Creek, and things get hairy. Things get hairy in the Beaver. I'm going to close this window on my computer because I can't keep doing this. So that's all the Hong Kong stuff. There's some Japanese movies coming out and some other stuff that I personally just think is really interesting that I'm going to waste your time talking about. Also in February, so February 19th of 2024, we are getting Yakuza Wolf 1 and 2 starring Sonny Chiba. I'm not familiar with these films. As you know, I love Japanese cinema, but it's like 40s through 60s is like my era for live action stuff. And then outside of that, most of what I've seen is anime. Now, I have seen like some of the obvious stuff, like I've seen some Miike films, I've seen some Beat Takeshi films. I've seen like all the Zatoichi movies for the most part. And like some of the more famous movies like that. But for the most part, like 70s, 80s Japanese cinema, and especially a lot of like the classic 70s Yakuza films are like a huge blind spot for me. So I really don't know anything about these movies. A duo of ultra-violent Yakuza thrillers starring the late, great Sonny Chiba, available for the first time ever in the UK. In the spaghetti western-inspired I Perform Murder, a mysterious black-clad killer played by Chiba with a personal vendetta against the Yakuza manipulates 2 rival clans in order... so it's basically Yojimbo again. And that was like... did you... Samurai Wolf... and Yakuza Wolf, right? So we see the connection between the titles. Samurai Wolf, the first one, I didn't watch the second one, is very, very similar to Yojimbo and Zatoichi, and like very kind of similar setup. Then in Extend My Condolences, Chiba plays a criminal who is betrayed and sent to prison. After serving his time, he wages war on the... I like the idea of 2 movies in which Sonny Chiba goes to war with the Yakuza. That sounds fucking awesome, and I will watch the shit out of these movies. Eventually raiding a mansion of a crime boss who turned... Oh, wow. In a spectacular action-packed climax that would later be directly homaged by John Woo in A Better Tomorrow too. So there's the limited edition slipcase with artwork by Chris Malbaum, who I'm not familiar with his artwork, but it's really cool. It's like kind of kind of like comic book style, like old school comic book style. There's 1080p presentations of both films across 2 Blu-ray discs with new restorations by Toei from the original film elements. So that's going to look really fucking good. Original Japanese mono, optional English subtitles, brand new feature-length audio commentaries on both films. I don't think it's been announced who is doing them. It just says brand new. And then brand new featurette by Howard Hughes, probably not the Howard Hughes, looking at the spaghetti western influence on Yakuza Wolf and the broader influence Japanese cinema had on the western genre, which is something that I am really fascinated by. Which I've talked about before on this channel. I think I talked about it when I spoke about Samurai Wolf. So there you go. So that's Yakuza Wolf coming out in April. And then also, this is in March, actually, excuse me. Bodyguard Kiba 1 and 2. And I think the director of this directed one of the Yakuza Wolf films as well. His name is Ryuichi Takamori. This is another double feature set, Bodyguard Kiba 1 and 2, 18th of March, 2024. A double bill of Japanese martial arts mayhem starring action superstar Sonny Chiba. How can you say no to that? Based on the manga by celebrated writer Iki Kajiwara, Bodyguard Kiba follows the eponymous karate master and professional bodyguard played by Sonny Chiba as he is hired to protect the mysterious Reiko, a woman embroiled in a world of organized crime. Kiba's involvement with Reiko brings him into conflict with the Yakuza, leading to a final bloody showdown. In Bodyguard Kiba 2, Kiba is released from prison after taking revenge on the rival martial artist who blinded his sister, Maki. And then he's back out on the streets and violence happens. Once again, 2 riotously entertaining tales of betrayal and bloodshed from director Ryuichi Takamori. Bodyguard Kiba and Bodyguard Kiba 2 were released just a year before Sonny Chiba would find international success with Street Fighter. Eureka Classics is proud to present both films the first time ever in the UK from new restorations. So there's 1080p presentations, like I said, like with the other ones with the original film elements from Toei. Very exciting. Japanese mono, optional English subtitles. There will be a feature-length commentary on both films. Oh, wow, from Mike and Arna, excuse me. The Bodyguard alternate U.S. version of Bodyguard Kiba, Talking Chiba, brand new interview with action choreographer and director Kenji Tanigaki. Kiba or Chiba, brand new interview with Tom Mez and Jasper Sharp. Original theatrical trailers, a limited edition collector's booklet featuring new writing by Jasper Sharp. That is all the Asian cinema that I will be talking to you about today. This next one is just really exciting for me and it's something that is great personal interest to me because I just watched 2 of these movies and freaking love them. And the third one is on my list to watch this weekend. So as you know, Eureka released the Andrei Zulawski 3-film set, like limited box set last year. They are now re-releasing the films in that set as 2 separate Blu-ray releases. There is the third part of The Night and The Devil, which is coming out as a double feature, which is currently listed as £16.99 on the Eureka website. That is a freaking steal. These films are both freaking incredible, mind-blowing. They are so bizarre and original and like disorienting and hellish. And it's almost like watching Jodorowsky, but if he were like this nihilist trying to make horror films. Like they're very kind of like psychedelic counterculture, acidy, like 70s, like weird cult movies, but they're also these kind of like nightmarish psychological horror visions of like these hellscapes. One of them is about Poland in World War II, and one of them is about a period in, I think, the late 18th century, so like the 1790s maybe, when Poland was partitioned, I think, between the Prussian Empire and another. My history of that part of Europe in that era is a little bit murky, but Poland is partitioned, and the country is basically like this hellscape where like the government is dissolved, and there's like soldiers running all over the place killing people, and there's like it's this very surreal, bizarre film that's almost like it's like Fellini from hell, where this guy's like traveling through, like if you've seen La Strada, right? It's like these performers traveling through this country, and some of it's very sad, and some of it's very uplifting. It's kind of this beautiful film about life, and this is more of like Alice in Wonderland goes to hell. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's batshit insane. That's The Devil. And then the third part of The Night is like this really hallucinatory, disorienting film about Poland during World War II that like is a movie that has multiple periods of time in the protagonist's life, but it plays like straightforward. There's no sense of like, oh, here's a flashback. It's like he's stepping from the past to the present to the future, like scene to scene, in a way that doesn't really click with the viewer until like maybe like 30 minutes in or something, and you're like, oh, this is insane, because everything is happening concurrently, and it's just like this psychotic nightmare. And And I loved both of those movies. He is such an original voice, and he has such an incredible vision. He's such a unique filmmaker. So I highly recommend both of those. And then his film, his sci-fi film On the Silver Globe, which I have never seen, which is on my watch list hopefully for this weekend, is also coming out. These are coming out in February of 2024. So I highly, highly recommend all of those films. And there's great bonus features. There's interviews on the... which was the one that I was just talking about, on the Silver Globe, not on the Silver Globe, the other two. There's interviews with, I think, a guy named, is his name Michael Brook, who's like an academic who I think studies Polish cinema. But I know basically nothing about Polish cinema. And he talks about The Devil and he talks about Third Part of the Night. And those are indispensable interviews because I learned a lot about the context of these films, about the filmmaker's life and stuff like that. From those interviews, they're also putting out Pass of Glory, the Kubrick film, in 4K. I've never seen that film before. And I mean, Kirk Douglas, like, it's just an absolutely classic film. And then The Cat and the Canary, which is from 1927. It is a pre-code American horror film that is kind of a dark comedy, kind of like a creature feature monster type of movie. I've never seen that one either, but I love old school American horror films from like the 30s. I don't know if I've seen that many from the 20s. I do really like German expressionist horror films from the 20s. So I'm very curious to check that one out. So my name is Will. This has been a mega roundup of Eureka releases coming out in February, March, and April of 2024. You are watching Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. I thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.